Yeah, it's a really good point, and I think that's another like red pill that we have to learn about relationships, because it's kind of like, I think when I was growing up, you sort of think, oh, I'll get this girlfriend, I'll get this wife, and she's going to kind of look after me, and if there's any problems I have, I can go to her, and all of that. And there's an element of truth. There's an element in that. Yeah, obviously, you want it to be there, you want it to be supportive and stuff. But I think you're right. You can't be going to her with every little problem and crying on her shoulder the whole time. 100%. Well, she's just going to think you're just a worse.
She can't, because she wants to be doing that to you. She needs to be coming to you and saying, "Oh, I had this problem at work." And she knows you've got the answer because you've got the answer for everything.
Well, yeah,
that's how she needs to see you.
Yeah, I think it's sort of like, I'm thinking now with, my girlfriend, although we're still relatively new this time around, but I was thinking, like, I would try to minimise me complaining about shit that I've got going on.
You got your voice for that, right?
Yeah, exactly. I try to handle that separately. And then yesterday or the other day, she was stressing about some stuff. She's like, "Oh, I don't know, there's this, there's that, I don't know what to do, blah, blah, blah." And I was like, "Look, babe, just chill. It's like, we're going to sort it out. It's fine. Yeah. You don't have to. You can't solve everything in a day. Just And I was trying to sort of be that rock kind of character.
But you can say that. You can say that because she does see you as that rock, as that leader of the relationship, right? You have the right dynamic in your relationship where she'll believe it when you say it because it's coming from the right guy. If you imagine if the tables were turned and she's a very masculine woman, and then her guy is always crying about his job, she's not going to go to him and ask him for advice. Because she's like, this guy doesn't even have his own life in check. How is he going to take care of me? And then she's already out the door, and you don't even know it. She's already planning a divorce. She's already finding the other guy. And this, like you said earlier, you said, with experience, you see the realities of what they are, the situation, right? And I think me and you, we see some realities that aren't very pleasant for a lot of men to hear, and that's why we get a lot of hate from these blue pill guys who are like, "Oh no, this is not how it works. And I've been with my girl for 10 years, but are you really happy?" First of all, you're leaving a comment on a video. Are you really happy? That's already a first telltale sign that this guy is trying to escape his life.
Because why would you bother otherwise?
Yeah, exactly. So that's number one. But like a lot of men, they're having these issues, and for me, I just can't sit idle and watch men just suffer and self-deletion rates go higher and higher. For me, it's a problem. I really feel the empathy.
But there's problems all. It's difficult for men getting in the front door in the first place, because it's difficult. It's difficult for guys to get dates or to get laid or to find girlfriends. And then if you do want to be in a relationship and you get into a relationship, that also is difficult. Or that brings its own problems. So there's not really any.
I think a big help is finding the right girl.
You've got to,
because a lot of guys get into relationships with girls that are not worth the relationship.
And this is one of these things. So when Myron would say you've got to sleep with 50 girls before settling down, I think Tom Torero used to say 35.
Tom Torero was saying 35.
Yeah, so Myron would say sleep with 50 girls before you choose to settle down with one. Tom Torero, I think, back in the day, used to say about 35. James Tusk now went in and came in like 100 or something like that. And I think wherever you want to put the number, but I think there's some truth in it, which is basically a guy needs to get some experience under his belt, because the problem is, I know from myself, when I was early 20s and my first girlfriend, I was like, she did absolute disaster. More red flags than a Chinese Communist parade. And like these days, I wouldn't give her.
You wouldn't give her the time of day.
No, I wouldn't give her the time of day. But at that point, because you've got no experience, you've got no abundance, you don't know what you're looking out for, and also you're like, oh, there's an attractive girl and she wants to get naked with me, then that's enough. You're like, all right, let's get married. So you need to get some experience, because otherwise you're going to just picking the wrong girl, and that can be a fucking disaster.
And you know what, me personally, I was too quick to judge when Myron said that.
Oh, were you sort of like anti that?
So I don't know, because for me, when I heard Myron say 50 body count before you get ready, I was like, whoa, that might be a bit too extreme for a lot of guys. But then I heard the nuance of what he said, because he explained it a couple of times as well, and he said, look, in a perfect world, you wouldn't need to get 50 bodies.
Yes.
But we don't live in a perfect world.
Yes.
We live in a world where these women have been with 30 men, 40 men by the age of 25 already. And you're on 3. She's going to run circles around you. If that's an issue, because she's going to lie to you and you're going to believe her, number one. Because she'll tell you, oh baby, I've only been with 5 people before you. I've only been with 2 people before you. She's lying, first of all. And a girl's never going to freely just tell her body count, unless, there's exceptions to the rule, of course, but speaking generally. But generally, girls are running laps around these guys. And these guys don't even know they're getting played. They don't even know that she's planning a divorce in 2 years. Because she was there for the marriage. She wanted just the validation on Instagram from her friend saying, congratulations, She knows that guy's just a placeholder. She knows she's going to get kids from him and then just go take his money and go somewhere else. She already knows all this stuff. For me, it's like, women already know this stuff, and this is the discussion that they have with their friends. Meanwhile, guys talking about Legos and all, you know what I mean? It's just like we need to come on the same level. The way you do is through experience, I think. So I think you definitely it's important.
I think recommend that. Yeah, I mean, I think we can debate over what the actual number should be. I mean, is 50 too high? Is 35 too low? Like, should it be more like that? But I think the general principle is it makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
You know what I mean? I'm not saying I co-sign like, it's got to be 50, it's got to be this or that. But it's like
you're not giving your number out yet.
I'm not giving my number out. No. Well, it's not even my number as such. But I mean, what a guy should aim for before settling down. But I think you certainly got to have some experience. And I mean, what do you think about? Maybe you disagree with this, but I have heard it said. Well, actually, maybe you don't. I don't know. But you shouldn't. What do you think? Would you say there's a minimum age that a guy should be before he thinks about settling down? Because I've heard it said like at least 30, maybe 35.
Yeah.
You know, I think there might be something in that.
I think generally, like if you're speaking general guys, I think 30 is a good age.
Yeah.
Just because it gives you enough life experience, and you're probably like more well off at that point as well to be able to handle, a relationship. Because it's not cheap, guys, especially in the UK. Recession. So I think an average guy, 30 is a good number around about there. But I think it depends, like I said, like I don't look at age, right? I look at experience. So I look at what has this guy been through, and then from there, because I've seen guys marry young. I have friends that married young, and they're in very good relationships. They were already experienced. They had experiences that generally most guys will have at 20, at 12 or 13 because of their childhood or upbringing, whatever it is. Some guys just naturally they age quicker. But I think generally, especially with the way the current system is, with the schooling system and all this stuff, I think 30 is a good age where a guy is competent. But even then, if you don't have experience, I'd say wait. Because there's a lot of 30-year-old virgins now.
True. Well, I don't know if you've seen that graph, like the virginity.
Yeah, because all the women are sleeping with the same guys, and those are the guys at the top. Me and my friend. It's just like it's true. It's the truth. Like people at the top, you can say it. And the thing is, I'm happy the way it is right now. Me personally, I'm eating, and I'm comfortable eating, and me and my friends are eating. But I see the suffering that's causing because now good men cannot find good women.
Well, that's the thing.
Those women want
top
G.
Well, that's the thing. If it, like hypergamy, this female desire for the top guys or whatever, it's not a problem if you fall in that bracket.
Yeah.
Or if you're in the game and you're
we're giving secrets away at this point. We're helping the guys who realistically we didn't need to help. Like a lot of guys are happy driving their nice cars and sleeping with all the women. But for me, I'm like, no, because good guys are missing out on good women.
Yeah. So I mean, I think the way the dating market is now is definitely not beneficial to anybody, really. I mean, it's like it seems like it's very skewed. It seems like you said. I mean, there's
unless you're the 1%.
Well, there's a pool of guys at the top who are getting all the action, all the attention. There's a bunch of guys who aren't getting anything. The women are all chasing the same dudes. Are the women really happy either? Because they're probably getting pumped and dumped. There's a lot.
You hear the conversations. Next time you go into a coffee shop, just listen to the conversations that the girls are having. It's always about, he's not texting me. He's acting. It's always this. Do you know what? A guy who's not into them.
Do you know what? It was really interesting because I was doing some street interviews recently, and we were outside Harrods. Me and a cameraman, and we were talking to these different girls and stuff like that. We talked to probably about 10 girls one day, and a few girls the day before. And I was asking them about dating culture in London, basically, and we saw like foreign girls, whatever, and all of them, I was like, so what are the key issues in dating right now in London? All of them, pretty much 99.9% said guys don't want to commit. And then the question is, okay, but what guys are you going for? And they're like, oh, does money matter? No, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, whatever. But the reality is, like reading between the lines, they're going for guys who are sought after. And those guys are going to have options. So those guys don't need to commit because why would you commit?
Why would I commit? Yeah, exactly. If I can have 10 pizzas a day, I'm going to have 10 pizzas. Maybe one day I'll have 2. One day I'll have 1. One day, you know what? Maybe one day I'll control myself. I'll have 0. I'm going to diet. And then eventually, I have all the options. I don't care to commit, especially if it's a girl who's not special in any way. Because every girl has this think that they're more special than they are because they've slept with a guy who's better than them. They slept with a celebrity. Because obviously Instagram's giving them access now. So girls in middle of nowhere are getting attention from guys who are celebrities, and Drake and Tiger and all these people. But they don't realize them sleeping with you is not the same as them liking you and wanting to settle down.
Wanting something more.
That's it. I remember one time in Dubai, right? I'll give you an actual example from my life. I was going to this party and I put it on my Instagram story. Okay, go to this party with a lot of cool people. Who wants to come? Loads of DMs from guys, loads of DMs from girls. All the girls attention seeking, like, oh, please can I come? And there was this one girl that she followed me, and I just messaged her. I said, do you want to come to this party tonight? I'm having this party. It's going to be a lot of cool people there. Do you want to come? And she said to me, look, I would want to because I want to meet you.
Yeah.
But the issue is I don't have any revealing clothes that I can wear to the party. I don't have anything that shows my assets. So I don't think I don't think I'll fit in. And honestly, bro, that was the only girl I was thinking about the whole time. There's all these girls messaging me, all these like, wannabe Love Island girls messaging me in Dubai, and I was just thinking about this one that, oh my god, she said she doesn't have the clothes to wear. That means she doesn't own anything revealing, which means that that's that kind of girl.
Quality,
she's from a small town in Russia, like, and that was the only girl I was thinking about. But at the time, it didn't work out with her because obviously on Instagram I have a different type of marketing. Like, I'm a very different, like, there's different aspects of every guy, right? Every guy's got the emotional side, the guy who's what he's like when he's in a relationship, what he's like when he's single. For me, my Instagram is optimized to get the most business. So that's why I have a lot of females on there, even if it means that I sleep with less women.
Yes.
Because of that. Because a lot
well,
of
your Instagram's awesome, by the way. I mean, you've got some great videos and stuff on there. So yeah,
I appreciate that. Yeah, I do it for a purpose. Yeah,
it's portraying a certain type of.
Of course it is. And the thing is, of course. Sorry to cut you off there, but I think the reason I have that, I don't want to lose a thought. That's why. But the reason I have that is because I realized that men value other men who are successful with women.
Yes.
Even in business. Like when I started, like I was hiding my life a little bit. I'm a videographer, so all the dates that I go on, I shoot them, I film them. I'm there with the girls. They're filming me. I'm filming them. We have a lot of cool moments that I could show to the camera, but I was choosing not to because I was like, oh no, I think this girl, like, obviously we have a rotation, you have a bunch of girls, like, you don't want to show one girl and then show the other one, it gets a little complicated. But at a certain point I was like, look, what do I value more? Do I value having these meaningless relationships with this rotation, or do I value business?
Yeah.
And I realized I value business more because that's my purpose. And the bigger I get, the more resourceful I get, the more I can help men.
Yeah.
And I think that's my purpose, and that's what I want to do. So I was like, no, you know what? I'm going to show guys the kind of life that I live. And that's when I started getting the traction. That's when I met Hamza and stuff like that. And I'm starting to be open a bit more about my personal life, about showing them the videos that I've had with all these women. And now I portray that lifestyle. I portray, being that kind of guy because I realized that men want to see that. Men want to look up to something. This is the crazy thing I realized. Like, a lot of guys with money, man, they struggle with women still. They get played because they can't tell what woman's good and what woman's a gold digger. And those are the guys that probably need our help the most.
Absolutely.
But because they have money, they think that they're in a higher position, they're a CFO, that this guy's not going to be able to give me advice. But they don't realize that because you do experience in different areas, right?
Yeah, well, it's really interesting because I mean, quite a few of the clients that I've had, and certainly, I work with James a lot, James Tusk. And I mean, a lot of the clients that we get are pretty wealthy people, pretty wealthy guys. Yeah. And you would think on the surface, well, why would they have a problem? But it's not about that really. It's partly about. I mean, it helps, but but it helps to attract the wrong people sometimes.
Exactly.
Or they get women who are trying to play them, or they get women who are they're just looking for a sugar daddy, or they get women who are frankly not as good as they could be getting.
Yeah, because and these the bar is beautiful, right? Yeah.
All these guys will settle for a woman who. Yeah. She's just not as he could be getting a better woman. Yeah. He could be getting somebody better than that, and he's just not because he doesn't think it's possible. Because he doesn't know what is possible.
Yeah. Yeah. I always tell guys this. I said, look, if a girl rejects you, don't you worry. Don't get one-itis and think, oh, she was the one. Because guess what? There's a younger, more beautiful woman version of that woman somewhere out there in the world. Because there's how many women? There's 7 billion people, 3.5 billion women out there. I'm sure you can find another one with blonde hair and blue eyes. And, you know what I mean? And I'm sure she might even be nicer. It depends where you go. If you go to Croatia, if you go to Eastern Europe, she might even be more feminine, which is what you want, really.
Yes.
With a relationship, So don't get too disheartened because there's always going to be plenty of fish in the sea. That's not going anywhere.
Absolutely.
And the thing is, it's just a matter of you becoming that guy and leveling up in all areas of your life, finding a mentor. Whether it's Troy, whether it's Tusk, whether it's Hamza, whether it's me, whatever it is. Finding someone who's better than you at your thing, having the humility to accept that, but also having the self-belief that, if I pay money to this guy, my life, this problem will get sorted. Because as a man, you need to be a problem solver. So when you have a bottleneck, especially like you probably don't understand business as well, when you have a bottleneck in your business, you figure out, okay, how can I solve this bottleneck? Who do I need to hire? Who do I need to get mentorship from? Who do I need to ask to figure this out?
Yeah.
And then if I don't have the network to talk to this guy who understands what to do, fuck it, I'll pay him.
Yeah.
Because that's the only way I'm going to get access to him. And he knows more than me. I know he can help me. Let me pay him.
Absolutely. And it's like we always say, I mean, time is your most valuable asset. We haven't got time, really, to be sitting around for 5 years, 10 years, trying to solve this problem.
Trying to figure it out. Because by that time, because you might get rejected one day extra. You might have a really bad day, and that might put you off cold approach for the next year or two. So you've just stunted your growth. Whereas if you had hired someone for me to be in your corner and be like, okay, no, bro, that's okay. It's just an approach. You're still the G. Go approach another one.
Yeah.
If I just told you that, maybe that day wouldn't have been as bad. Maybe after we had a coffee and say if after the night we went to a bar or something and we just talking and then you meet another girl And then that day that would have been terrible, and it would have stopped you from approaching for the next 2 years, actually turns into one of the best days of your life because you're like, oh wow, Air Singh values he says I'm smart. He says that I can do it. He believes in me. That's going to keep you going for another 6 months, isn't it?
Absolutely.
And especially if you got. Why do people hire personal trainers? It's for the same reason. Every video is online already. How you do a pec fly, how you do a dumbbell curl. But why do they hire it? Because they need accountability.
They need accountability, motivation, and also I think just some personal like reassurance as well. And the thing about being a dating coach is we've been in the trenches ourselves for many years. We've also seen many other guys fail and succeed, so we know what the sort of what's realistic. And I think a lot of guys go into this and they'll go and speak to 4 girls, get rejected, they're like, oh my god, it's over.
Or even they'll speak to 100 girls, but that's still not enough volume.
Well,
you know what I mean, hundreds of high number, but it's not.
Well, somebody came, we were doing a live stream the other day, and somebody came on in the comments on the live stream, he said, oh, so what happens if a guy approaches 10 girls, he gets rejected by 10 girls? Isn't that a pretty good indicator that he's... And it's like, bro, what about the... Yeah, exactly, but what about the 11th? Like, you could get to the end of the 10, you're like, oh fuck, it's not going to work for me, that's it, it's over. And then you go black pill. But the 11th girl may have really liked you. Or, like you said, I mean, the reality is, when you're starting with this stuff, maybe you have to approach 100. You know? Maybe you have to do 100 interactions. Maybe you have to do 1,000 before...
Maybe 10,000.
Before you're really getting traction. But it doesn't matter, because for a start, it's like going to a casino with unlimited money. You know, at the door, they just get to say, right, you can, you know, you got unlimited cash, here you go. And you can just keep playing. There's no limit to it. You know?
Exactly.
It's not like there's a certain number of approaches you can do in a lifetime.
That's
it's
it.
like,
One girl says something mean to you, and then that's it. That's my whole dating career done. Let me just settle with the average girl. No, but go further than that.
And you've got a whole world as well. I mean, you travel quite a lot, don't you? I mean, we travel like Latin America, Eastern Europe.
I think that's a hack, isn't it? Really,
it's a real hack.
It will fast track you to understanding how much you're worth. Because as a brown guy like me in England, man, it was fucking hard. I'll tell you that straight away.
It's hard,
But now you're a young brown guy and you're in England and you try and talk to a white blonde girl, you're gonna get rejected 99 times. And I went to Croatia, so I went to Croatia actually. This is one of my first, not my first experience, but I was committed to staying there for a long time. So I knew I was going to like settle there, one place, you know. I was going there with my 2 friends, both tall, 6 foot. One's Danish, blue eyes, one's Canadian, you know. And I was like, oh man, I'm going to get, like, these guys are going to be like, we're living in like a massive like mansion thing together. We're like, oh, these guys are going to kill it. All these women, I'm just going to get no one. I had these limiting beliefs still, but then it turns out I was getting the most attention. I was getting the most amount of women because
you
I was the most different.
Yes.
So the weakness that I had my whole life of being like, oh, I'm this brown guy, I have no value to society because everyone else is brown. I went there and I was bombarded with attention, with positive attention, because they don't have the stereotypes that they have here for Indians. There was like, oh, this exotic guy, and he's in my country and he's staying here for 6 months. They were like, oh, it's jackpot.
Yeah,
that's what the girls were thinking, you know.
Yeah,
but that made me really understand like. Your weakness one place could be your pro in another place. Yeah, it's just a matter of going there and experiencing, taking the risk. Because I took a risk, man. I took all my stuff, left England, said I'm done. Went to move with my friends. You know, we all had online businesses, so we're like, let's all do it together, work together. We'll go out together and have fun. This is during, time. I forgot. I don't want to say it was during that time. You know, so I wanted to get out of England regardless. You know, and then. That really made, and also the fact that it was during that time made me really realize that your location matters so much, because here my friends are in home, they can't leave, they can only leave for like 15 minutes a day outside to get fresh air. They haven't spoken to anyone for 3 months, and there's me partying every night in Croatia.
Was it open in Croatia?
It was, yeah. For a certain time, it was open, so we were going out every day. And then you know what? When it closed, even in Croatia, it did close. But all that meant was we were just doing cold approach because you're still allowed to go out. So we started doing more cold approach. We had our own parties around our place. We started having parties at Saturdays, Fridays and Saturdays at our place. So we just be full of beautiful women.
It's a good point. And location is super important.
Yeah.
And if there's Doomer guys online, and if you're watching this and you're one of them, you're sitting there. Maybe you're in a small town in America or UK or whatever. You're like, oh, it's over. The dating market is so skewed. But the dating market is not this homogenous thing that exists over the entire planet, and it's the same everywhere. It really isn't. Like if I go to Colombia, if I went to Eastern Europe, the reaction I get is going to be better than because we're in London now, and it's like you
actually got to try a little bit.
I mean, my issue because obviously I'm white dude, whatever. But what that means is that I don't have a lot of standout here. Do you know what I mean? Like it's like it's obviously I've had girlfriend. I can things happen here, but it's whereas if I went to a different country or if I went to Thailand or something, then suddenly it's like, oh my god, so your value really shifts depending on where you go, and that's I think is it's a useful thing to know.
Yeah, of course.
And it just shows you I don't know. It's just really interesting.
Yeah, why not?
So then, and it gives you more sort of wind beneath your wings when you come back to your home country, because sometimes people will say, well, if you're doing a boot camp, why are you doing a boot camp in Colombia where it's easier? It's like, well, because that way the guys can get into more interaction, so they get more practice, so they can see the process through. But equally, when they go back to Delaware or they go back to London or Staines or wherever it is, they're going to have that confidence, and it's not that it's going to be super easy for them when they get back, but it does mean they're going to have more momentum,
of course,
and probably the reactions are going to be better too.
Of course.
So you know,
and it just builds over time. Like now, when I walk into a room, I feel like a celebrity. But that's because when I was in Dubai, I was hanging out with celebrities, and everywhere I went, people treat me like a celebrity. I was walking around with Hamza, and people treat me like a celebrity. So I just know how to act. And then when I'm not around them guys, I still feel like
you still act like that. And
I still feel like a celebrity. I still feel like a G. And then people feel that. They're like, are you famous? I remember I had people coming up to me, not only in Egham where we are right now, but in Dubai, and they were saying, "Oh, are you famous?" I wouldn't be with anyone. I'd just be outside of like a shawarma shop, and they'd be like, you feel like you someone? Should I know you? You know what I mean? And now I play into it. I ask girls like my opener, "Do you recognize me?" With my mysterious shades on, my do you recognize me? You know what I mean? Like, it's just a joke. It's just keeping it fun and playful and light. But it's just like it's very effective, because I think the key as you get better and more advanced with game is understanding how you can convey value in a quicker period of time.
Yes, that's absolutely true. If you can walk into a room and you can have people sort of pay attention to you, and it's a combination. It might be how you dress. I mean, I know we've talked about dress, and you like to dress up, which is cool, but it might be partly how you dress. It might be partly just how you walk, how you present yourself, how you look at other people, or how you interact with other people. That conveys a lot of value in a very, very short space of time, and that's really powerful.
There's things that I do, there's things that I say that make the girl already, like, I don't know, get a sense of who you are and your value without you really saying too much, because I don't like I don't like go up to a girl and say, "Oh yeah, I've got like all these followers and all this."
No, because you don't want to be overt.
Exactly.
About it,
but if you say it in a way like for example, I'll say a lot of times I'll say to a girl, "Italian," that's my opener. Wherever I think she's from, Italian. No, and then she's like interested. "Oh no, I'm not from Italy. I'm from here." And I'm like, "Oh, you know what? It's so strange. You look exactly like my ex-girlfriend, and she was from Italy." So in that first 10 seconds, what I've conveyed to her, I've conveyed, if she's a beautiful woman, she knows that I've dated a girl who looks similar to her, also a beautiful woman. She was from Italy. Why does this guy know a girl from Italy? And why was she's ex-girlfriend? There's so many questions that she has now. So much mystery I've built up, and it's only been 10 seconds.
Exactly.
So she's going to ask me more questions to try and figure it out. And the more you push away, you're more like, "Nah, I'm not going to show you. I'm not going to tell you who I am. I'm keeping it a mystery. I'm not going to give you my Instagram. You have to guess it." It's like, well, how am I going to guess it? I don't know. I'm like, figure it out. I don't know. You know what I mean? But you're just being playful. You're conveying so much value, I guess, in a short period of time. Because now she knows that you dated a girl who looks like her, who's Italian. And I think I got that from a movie somewhere. But I use it as well. And my life is a movie. What do you think of Hamza? Let me just ask you.
I mean, very, very cool guy. I mean, it's really impressive the way he's built up his business. I mean, I like his message. I think he's got a very positive sort of message. It's good that he's talking more about the dating stuff now, because I think it's a really important part of the puzzle. But just the general self-development stuff, the advice he gives on, these books have really helped me, or this has really helped me, super, super key. And I think he's like an aspirational figure as well, isn't he? Because you see him, when he went out to Dubai and everything, he's living this lifestyle, he's making this money, and it's like, look, if this guy can do it, and he's telling us exactly how to do it, we can do it as well. So I think that's a fucking, that's an amazing thing, right?
100%, exactly that. I think Justin Waller mentioned this in a video. I remember I recall him saying it, but he was like, nowadays they don't have the idols like they did back in the day, right? Like back in the day, it would have been Rocky or Rambo, someone like that sort of figure. That guy would be, have a poster of him in his room and think, I'm going to be like that one day. I'm going to be this masculine man, And those, I think, characters were more suited in this world as well, because those are the guys who are getting the women who are, are actually attractive. They embody masculinity. But nowadays, what these guys have got to look up to, what these young kids have got to look up to now from the Hollywood is who's that Spider-Man guy? I forgot his name.
Oh, Tobey Maguire.
He's a boy. He's not a man. How can you look up to that? So these guys have lost because now they've switched out all the male masculine role models out for female main leads in Hollywood, right?
Yes.
So that's already alienated a whole generation of men who have to be forced, put it down their throat of, no, these are the guys you have to look up to, and you have to accept that a woman is stronger than this man in this movie. Like, how does that make sense at all? I can't keep up with the logic in these movies nowadays. So nowadays, the new idols, I think, what it's switched to, because there's always going to be a need for these masculine role models, is guys on YouTube. There's guys like Hamza, there's guys like Tate, there's guys like...
Well, that's probably, arguably, that's why Tate blew up so much, right? Because there's that need.
There's that need, and he provided, he gave them the value in that sense,
But you worked with Hamza, I've had that sort of come about.
Yeah, so I met Hamza actually in Dubai. And the story is very funny, actually. You know what? I might even say it, because I think it's very, you know, embodying of the kind of mentality that I've always had, you know, just being a little bit delusional. So, for example, I was in England. I just come back from Brazil, and I was figuring out where my next place was going to be, where I wanted to like have base, because I like to travel throughout the year, go to different places. I had my own online business, you know, so I was figuring out where I want to go. Do I want to go to like Asia? And then I saw Hamza's video, because I was watching him at the time, and I saw he was in Dubai. And he had really good things to say about it.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? I think that might be a sign. I'm gonna go there. And I called my friend. I'm like, yo, I figured it out. I'm going to Dubai. I'm gonna go meet Hamza. That's my plan. That's what I went thinking. I was gonna go meet Hamza, go meet some cool people who are there. I just thought, I told this story to my friend. We laughed about it today. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna go meet Hamza. He's like, how are you gonna meet Hamza? I'm like, no, I'll figure it out. I don't know. I feel like I know him. I feel like we'll get along, you know. And I just go with that confidence. And then out of nowhere, like I had no intention of meeting him or anything like that. Like I have no way of like, you know, getting in touch with him, because obviously I've been messaging him. I always message people that I think I'm gonna know in the future, like Drake and Iman and stuff like that. Like if you look at our DMs of me and Hamza's in Instagram, like for like a year or two, I was just messaging him randomly, like just telling him like, oh, hey, bro, like as if I know him already, as I know it's gonna happen in the future, right? Because I saw the come up for Hamza. Who's this guy who looks exactly like me, who's had the same life experiences, who realized journaling and meditation is the answer? Who's this guy, you know? Like, I grew up in meditation. I'm Sikh, right? So naturally I was born with that mindset and stuff like that. So I just knew, like, you know, he thinks the same way I do. He realized he had the same come up as me of, like, you know, not being able to attract the women that we want because we're brown guys living in the north of England, you know, like very similar life experiences. So when I heard his stories, I was like, yeah, this guy's exactly like me. I know we're going to get along. And then randomly out of nowhere, I was in Dubai, and one of my friends said to me, oh, there's this UFC gym. No, sorry. So at the start of the morning, I wake up and I see Hamza's stories posted in a red gym.
Yeah.
And I just messaged him like, "Whoa, where's this gym at?" As if he's gonna just message me back and tell me exactly where it is. You know, delusion. But I think that's good.
Yeah.
And then my friend randomly the same day he mentions, "Oh, bro, there's this UFC gym. They're doing some sort of like Muay Thai session for free. Do you want to like go out and check it out?" And I was like, you know what? I used to train Muay Thai for a couple of years. You know, it might be fun. Let's just go. It's like 2 minutes from where we live. You know, we're living in next to the UFC gym. I don't want to say where because I might be going back there. So but yeah, so we go to the UFC gym. And then I see the red. I'm like, whoa, this is the same gym I saw this morning in Hamza's story. And then I'm speaking with the manager. Manager's showing me around. And I said to the manager, oh, by the way, my friend Hamza, he goes here, right? And he said, then he starts saying, oh, yeah, Hamza comes here every day. He comes here. You know, he told me a bit too much. So if the manager's watching, I'm sorry. He gave me a little bit more information than I needed. He's like, I comes here at 5 a.m.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, that's cool. But I was like, if I come up at 5 a.m. and just stand here like I'm a fan of you, that's going to be a bit weird of a first introduction of Hamza. So I said, let me not do that. Let me go to Dubai Mall. And buy him a little gift, and then just leave my card with a little message in the back saying, like my business card, like with a little message in the back saying, you know, I'm here, you know, if you want to meet or something like that. You know, I left it in there. And this was my plan anyway. So I'm going to Dubai Marina Mall. And literally, as I'm going there, I'm not making this up. You can ask Hamza about this as well. As I'm going there, Hamza posts a story randomly saying, I'm having a meet up in Dubai Marina Mall, 8 p.m. at Starbucks.
Yeah.
As I'm going to the mall to buy him, like, I was going to buy him some dates because I didn't like dates. Because with guys who are already making so much money, you can't buy something like expensive. You need to buy a sentimental gift, right? So I watched his videos. I knew he liked dates, and then his editor Sam was there as well. And I was like, let me go buy him a hard drive. Those are some 2 gifts that I can get them, and I think that'll be nice. Just a nice little gesture, you know.
Yeah.
He can reciprocate on that if he wants to. He can like message me back. He doesn't need to as well.
Yes.
I'm just doing it out of he's giving me a lot of value. Let me just do something nice for him, right? And then as I'm going to this Dubai Marina Mall, I see his story, and I'm like, wow, it's meant to be, right? And then I just go there, totally normal, as I usually am, shake his hand when I meet him, say, you know, thank you for your videos. You know, you've done a lot for me, and I know you've done a lot for these boys, so I'm just, you know, I'm here, I want to support you, I want to say thank you. You know, and during the Starbucks, we've been there for like 3 hours, and there's, you know, young guys there asking him advice about business, stuff like that, and I just help out where I can, where I have some knowledge, because I obviously have a business as well. So I'm just giving knowledge, giving, you know, tips, giving dating advice a little bit here and there, you know, just doing little things, and he notices that, you know. And then at the end of the meet, he's like, "Oh, bro, like," and I tell him the story of like, you know, how we met, like how I met going to the same gym as him in the morning, and you know, stuff like that. And then he's like, "Oh, bro, that's so funny," you know. And he just says, "Oh man, you're doing a workout again tomorrow morning if you want to come through. You know, if you live close by, you can just come through." It's like, yeah, why not? You know. So the next day, I go. We work out together. It's like all the boys there. It's kind of like an entourage. We're just working out, training neck for the first time. I've got videos of this as well.
Nice.
Might post them up. And then we just, you know, get closer and closer. And he sees me approach a girl in the gym. These two, one English girl, one Irish girl. And I just see him looking. I'm just doing this naturally. Like most guys have the problem where they can't approach a hot girl because she's too hot. I've got the opposite problem. where I can't not approach a girl, or I tell myself this anyway. Because that also is what you say to yourself, manifestation, right? So,
true. Yeah.
So I just run up these girls, natural conversation. I know that they see that I'm with Hamza, and Hamza's an important guy because got some fans earlier come up asking for a photo, so they know that who we are. They know that we're important. So I use that as leverage. I just go up to them, very very nonchalant, casually talk to them a little bit. They're teachers. I get their Instagram and then just walk off. And then he says to me, he always says to me now as well. He's like, you know what? Game recognizes game, and he just says that. It's like a G, He just carries on doing his workout, whatever. And so that happens. And in the evening, he's got some dinner, and he's like, "Oh, bro, it'd be cool if you came to this dinner as well." And then I meet Mike Thurston again. I've done a little bit of work for him in the past, and the next time Mike Thurston sees me, it's like I'm sitting, Hamza's right hand man sitting right next to him, and the first thing I say to Mike Thurston is, "Do you remember me?" Because I remember I worked for him like 5 years ago, just doing a little video in London. And he's, "Oh yeah, you were that guy." Da, da, da. And he's got he had a Brazilian girlfriend at the time. I don't know what he has now, but I was living in Brazil at the time, so I just connected. We had little, and he obviously Hamza's seeing this as well. He's seeing that he can bring me around these guys, and it's not weird. It's like it's like an advantage because then I'm obviously saying good things about Hamza too. And I think that naturally, just overall, it just led to us hanging out more. While he was in Dubai, we had like a little group chat. We just do things. We go to Abu Dhabi, just little boys trips. And I think at the time he was like, having a weird relationship with his girlfriend as well. So it was good that he was hanging out with the boys. And he really liked that, But then 6 months, we leave Dubai. He goes to Thailand, and I go to Brazil, and we don't speak, and we don't speak for a long time. And then out of nowhere, he hits me up while I'm in Brazil, and he's like, "Bro, I'm having this event next week in Amsterdam. It'd be cool if you came to it. It'd be cool if you just showed up and like helped me out a little bit with the video stuff. I know you used to do videography." Because I used to be a videographer for YouTubers. That was my thing. So he knew I was experienced with that, with boot camps, with seminars, and stuff like that. So he knew I was the right person for the job. Yeah. And even if I didn't help him out, I feel like he would have still invited me, just because we had that relationship in Dubai, and he was bringing all the boys back. Like the other guys were in our group from Dubai. They all came down, and we had like an amazing trip. And as soon as I met him again in Amsterdam, it was like we didn't skip a beat. It was as if like, right from the get, we were just boys again. We were just talking. Talking about girls, talking about business, talking about all this stuff, right? And then I remember we had this moment in the taxi one time because we had to like leave because it was like we were getting swarmed. As soon as he came outside, all of his fans were like, because we already gotten photos from him, but there maybe some fans get access because they're not in his school, right? So they just came up, asking photos, and we had to leave, call the Uber, and he's like, just get in the Uber, and then we got an Uber and we had like this little heart to heart, and he's like, bro, like I really appreciate you and all this stuff. We appreciate you coming down, all this stuff. And I think from there, from that moment, our friendship just grew, and started helping with the video stuff as well, things like that. And I like to think that he takes my advice. He asks me about things that I appreciate that he asks me, and he takes what I say on board. So I really appreciate that about him. And what I like about him is he always gives the same amount of attention to everyone. So for example, one thing I really liked about him was when I saw him on that first Starbucks meetup. Yeah. There's people that are important here, and he knows that. He's socially aware. He knows who's important, who's got business, who can help him network, and who's just like a fan asking to see their mentor, But he was giving everyone the same amount of attention, whether it was the important guy or not. And that's what made me realize this guy's a real G. This guy's a real G, and I want to work with him because I'm in a position now where I'm lucky enough to be able to choose who I work with.
Well, I know, we won't mention any names, but I know that there was one person that you mentioned who you worked with, and then you chose to stop working with it because you found that some things exactly. So I think that's really good, and it sounds like both. I mean, obviously from what you're saying about Hamza, it sounds like a really solid guy. Yeah. It's really nice when you get somebody of that stature who's who's willing to do that.
Sees the world the same way you do as well. I think that's really important. Like we see the world the same way, and I think my main message is like I always want to give more than I take from people. Yeah. And all he was thinking about in that meetup was like, okay, I'm talking to these fans, but how can I take data as well and help these guys even more? Provide them even more value, because that's what he was asking. He was asking the guys, one to one, as an 18-year-old kid. Imagine Hamza's asking you, Idol's asking you, what can I do to help you more, bro? That's what he was doing. He was asking them, and that's what I love, because I love to see people who want to just give value, because they're like, I'm going to die one day. I don't want this stuff to go with me. I don't want this knowledge that I've accumulated to die with me. Yeah. I want to carry it on. I want to keep spreading it to the future generation. I think he really thinks like that, and he's always focused on how can I provide the most amount of value and just help people's lives. And I think part of providing value, now I've realised this, is they pay for it as well. Because they need to take that step towards you.
They need to have skin in the game.
Yeah, they need to have skin in the game. Yeah. And we've realised this as well. Like, it's funny, the more someone pays us for mentorship, the more value they get from it as well.
Yeah.
Because they take it more seriously.
They really do.
When you say go to 10 cold approaches, they do it like it's a duty, not because I asked you to. You know, they really take it because they put the skin in the game at that point. They know how much this is worth. They know how much they're relying on this. You know, and it's, as long as you know the knowledge and you have the mindset and you know you can help that person, they can pay you as much as they want because I know I'm going to give you that value back.
Absolutely, yeah.
It depends on how much you give me. I'm just going to keep giving. Because I've always value to give, you know?
But that also is an interesting. I think the story about you and Hamza that you told is it's like you were giving a lot of value, like you were consistently giving value, and you weren't asking for anything in return.
Yeah.
And I think that's a really key point, isn't it? With sort of any kind of high level networking, really. So
of course. Yeah.
It's like it's got to be about giving value. But I would say with anybody, really. I mean, it's slightly different with. Well, even with women, you need to give value, but in a different way. Yeah. But if you take women out of the equation, we're thinking more about business and friendship and stuff like that. I think it's got to be all about
100%, man. And yeah, I think that's a really good point to end this conversation on. Troy, where can they find you, man?
So I'm on all my socials are at Real Troy Francis. I'm on YouTube, I'm on Twitter, X, and I'm on Instagram primarily. I've got TikTok as well, Restful, but those are the key.
And what can they contact you for as well?
Any issues with dating, anything that you want to talk about. I've got various coaching programs. I coach people in real life. You know, we do one-on-ones. I do stuff online as well. You know. Zoom calls so any issues around meeting women or getting into a relationship or retaining a relationship, etc. I'm here to help.
Perfect. So thank you guys for watching. And remember to like and subscribe. Remember to follow Troy as well, Troy Francis. And apart from that, have a great rest of your day. That's pretty much
Good
it.
stuff. Many thanks, man. Appreciate it.